So you gotta come
It
over
looks like
here.
a grilled cheese sandwich. Like the bottom of the pan when you just made a grilled cheese sandwich, but the butter and the bread is kind of burnt onto the pan. That's what those look like.
What? Where?
Yeah.
Right here.
Okay.
Those look. Oh, they do because they're a little greasy, a little.
Too
But
much
it's like
butter?
a little bit like.
A little toasty.
Yeah.
That one looks like an undercooked one.
That is an undercooked one.
There's nothing like comparing the top of a piston to a toasted cheese sandwich out of a frying pan.
That's right. All right.
That's
so,
the intro from Late Start Racing, is the comparison
was that on
between
video?
a piston and a toasted cheese sandwich.
That's right.
At the mile and a half, 101.607.
Good afternoon to you all.
Nice work. You want to open this one up, Grant?
Yeah,
Brooke
do
and
it.
I have been doing this for a while.
Actually,
I thought
I've been
I
doing
just
it.
did
You've been
for
doing it.
Late Start Racing, the comparison between a piston and a toasted cheese sandwich.
This is true.
Done by Brooke.
All
Opener.
right, so, welcome back to Late Star Racing Channel. Today, we are going to go down through Brooke's short block that came out of the Ranger and find out what's good, what's bad, what's obviously ugly. Grant already found some stuff between last week and this week that we didn't notice before, some rust, because this thing's been sitting and for quite a while outside, so moisture inevitably, especially with the seasonal changes here in Maine, from 100 degrees to negative 20 degrees and high humidity, eventually stuff is going to rust. This is how it works. So yeah, today we're going to go down through, we're going to break it down, and we're going to take it all apart, and then we're going to go through and measure all the components and find out if we need machine work or if we can get away with, well, actual machine work or just, honing, maybe honing cylinders, polishing a crank, and re-ring and bearing, or are we resizing rods, boring cylinders, which we may decide to do something else if that's the case, and new pistons and what have you. We're just going to figure out what we have for a project. So,
Yeah.
thanks for coming by.
And just for general knowledge, it was 0 degrees here this morning.
It was 0 degrees. It's been really cold this week.
Yep.
We got some snow. Well, actually, you'll see snow before this part. You'll have seen some snow because it started snowing when we were cleaning the Ranger.
Yeah, it was.
Last weekend. Yeah. So it's Maine.
And tomorrow it's supposed to be torrential rains and high winds.
And
Ew.
50 degrees.
Don't make a bit of sense.
50 degrees.
It's Maine.
Yeah.
Warm but rainy.
Yeah. So it snows and then it rains. It snows and it rains. It snows and it rains.
The old Maine saying, what's the weather? Wait 5 minutes.
Yeah. Wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
Let's turn this over and
Let's get into it.
record what letters go with what piston and what piston they are. Get that out of the way first. And this is going to be number 1 right here.
No, number 1 is the lead.
Forward one?
the
Okay.
forward one.
So we want to work.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to turn it over for us, I'll read them to Brooke.
Sure.
So we're going to make sure this is a forward one.
This is number 1.
Yeah. Number 1 we know it's forward because it's the first rod.
Oh, yes, duh.
It's B.
Yeah, B.
Okay.
We
the
could
next
go,
one.
let's go, oops. Yeah, you can do that. Let's go all the way around so we keep, we're going to need a light. Oh, can you see it?
X.
2 is X.
Yep.
Yeah, you probably see it as well as
Okay.
I can.
Well, so no, it's not 2. So it's the way Ford does it. It's 1, 2, 3 on one bank, 4, 5, 6 on the other. So it's
So this
actually
is gonna
1.
be 4.
1 was B.
It's going to be 4.
X was 4. Great job.
Okay.
And then 2
Now
is
it's going to
E.
be 2. It's going to be, okay.
And then 5 is also E.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. I don't know if
Okay.
these are. Yeah.
Make sure you.
But we're still. It's okay. We'll mark them. We'll mark
Yeah,
them.
we'll have to. I didn't notice that.
What we can do is we can get your stamp set and
Yep.
we can stamp
Sure.
stamp the ends real quick just to make sure that they have numbers on them.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. So
Type.
then number
Three.
3, you're right, is W, and then number 6 is K. So I think we could.
So is it really double E, or could it be?
Yep. And then this is E down here. Yep.
Okay, so if we just stamp these two.
Yeah, we just stamped these two.
So let me get my.
Oh, well, we just use center punch and just do.
Oh yeah,
center punch.
a single and a 2.
Yep.
And then you're going to write down EE and then put like 1 dot or 2 dots.
So this is number 2. So I can just put 2.
Okay.
So you're gonna put
1, 2. It's a dull center punch.
That's the cheapy one. That's why.
And then this one is number 5,
5.
right?
Yep.
There,
Okay,
easy enough.
good. That takes care of that. So now we can proceed into pulling each one of them, and we'll just set them up here out of the way. Okay, notches forward. Can you make a note on there, like up in here, notches forward?
Yeah, the piston notches.
Yeah,
are
there's
forward,
little notches.
Which is, I don't know if it's any different. I don't know if there's any engines that the notches are backwards. I'm not sure. I remember something about.
I'll write it down. We can look it up later.
Yeah.
And usually that's because the notch is forward because it indicates the offset of the wrist pin to the center of the board to make the engine more quiet. And it typically it wouldn't have a notch if the my understanding it wouldn't have a notch if the wrist pin was centered in the piston.
Right.
So we'll set this off to the side.
Yep. We'll pull this right out and put it right back on for us. Oh, you're going to run it down.
Push it down.
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
I find this keeps me out of trouble.
Sure,
If I get it as far down as possible.
Use that little ball peen with a wood or brass. There's a brass rod in there, way down in the hammer section. We have. Oh, you're going to use socket. Okay. I'll catch it.
I'm gonna put my gloves on.
Oh yeah, those bearings have 140 something thousand.
Oh boy!
They were right.
They're right there.
Yep.
They were right.
Yep.
Can you see that?
I might as well get a nasty rag.
Yeah, it was right there.
Yep, they are at the end of their life and maybe just slightly beyond.
Yeah, the ring, everything is pretty gunky. Although the skirts of the skirts, that doesn't look too bad.
No.
I mean, that's not scuffed right up hard. With as much, that actually looks pretty good.
Looks
well,
good.
that would be the power side. Because that came out right notch forward. Yeah, that's where the stress gets cylindered.
Yeah.
They are some gnarly looking rigs.
But gee, clean those up for us, and I think it'd be pretty good. The journal.
Oh, these are pressed pins.
Journal looks nice.
Okay, so I'm just gonna.
You're just gonna loosen them off.
This one and this
just
one?
back them off a little bit until we get the rod moved away from the.
Oh, I just did the whole thing.
That's okay.
That's not bad. That was close.
Yeah, I might as well just not hit on the.
Well, I was just gonna put the knot. Yep. And pull that cap.
I'll reach across.
That one has had some trash go through it.
Yeah, this one here.
Hold up, I'll just grab it from the bottom.
Oh, you want to grab it?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I'm over here, so I'll do these ones.
Sure.
Okay, so
Catch this one.
yep, and then we'll.
It's this one right here, right? The first one on the side.
Yep.
Yep, that one right there. Yep. That.
Yeah, we have the letters marked, so we're all right there. You know, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
You'll end up whacking a nerve. Not good for your hands.
Okay, let's look at this.
We have tools for that.
Oh man, that thing was right there.
Let me see that.
It's a good thing we didn't try to just get this thing running.
Oh yeah, she's done.
It was.
Hey Brooke, remember last time we were talking about the bearing clearance And the load, see the load here was between here and here. That's how much the crankshaft, the journal was riding on that, was that distance right there that you see. See on the outside, there's hardly anything. A little bit on this side. Like Forrest said, it's had some junk go through it, but the junk is probably what was coming off the bearing.
Okay.
Yeah, and put the cap back on with the letters lined up.
The crank looks pretty good, though.
It does.
Doesn't
It
look bad.
does.
As
Does it
long
go on
as-
like this, Dad?
I think it's caught in
You
time.
just got to put the letters to each other. Yep.
Yeah, because they're matched
Yeah.
together, Brooke.
So we'll do this in front of the camera too. So this rod, Brooke, when it was machined, these two pieces were machined together so that they were bolted together, and then this was bored and then honed to be extremely round.
Right.
So these two pieces match. So any difference between this match set and the next set, if you swap this piece, any bit of variance in the height of the center line of that hole will make it not round. And when you're talking about thousandths of an inch of oil clearance, so your hair is typically 4 to 7 thousandths thick, each strand of hair. We're talking about oil clearances that are half that. So if you're talking about half the thickness of your hair is the amount of space inside here between this diameter and this one, any bit off, it will actually just pinch the crank. It won't turn. Or you get lucky enough that it does turn and you have zero oil clearance. You're just going to wear the bearing right out, and the motor will be.
Basically, it'll
Eat itself.
burn. Yeah, the bearing will get eaten up.
It'll eat itself.
Just kill them up.
Yeah, we'll end up drawing some pictures, I think. because
Yeah.
I know that's the
Pictures is easier.
Yeah, the picture,
Visual.
The concepts of how concentricity and the measurements is something that I know you don't have yet, which we will draw
These-
some pictures and work through.
These two?
Yep,
Yeah.
those two. Yep,
All the way off?
yep, loose
Yeah,
them all
it's
the way
all right.
off, and they seem to tunk off pretty.
That
easily.
does not fit.
You're not straight on,
I'm
Brooke.
not straight
That's
on.
why.
Yeah.
It fits, guys.
I can see what you're doing. Nope. Good job. Brooke, take that stuff. Oh, let's look at the bearing.
Yeah.
Normal. Bearing's been doing what it's
Not
supposed
too
to do.
So this one's gonna go here, right? That one's gonna go here.
The biggest thing I see with this, it's carbon.
Yeah, it's carbon, not carbon. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, look at that bearing.
Yep.
So when you look at these bearings, let me show everybody that bearing there. So when you look at these bearings, you can see where the load is. So the load is when it fires and the piston pushes down, pushing on the crank. That's where the load is. There's not as much load here because that's just the inertia of the piston and rod assembly is the wear here, but this is actually combustion. So suck, squish, bang, blow. This is the bang right there. That's
Okay.
the bang. That's what you're seeing.
Okay, Brooke.
That crank does look halfway decent.
I know. I like
Cool.
it.
It'd be cool if it wasn't.
Like I say, looking at the first one, but then again,
It could be it.
you get right down to the very last one,
And
and
it could be trash.
but looking at the bearings and stuff, I don't see anything
This one?
Yep.
that could create a catastrophic condition.
Oh, it's right there.
Go ahead. Same thing. They're all
That camera.
that is just
Yeah, I know.
right on the verge.
Right on the verge.
Well, we just take the bearings out and turn them over. Next. That one dropped right out of there.
Oh, this is gonna be the one we just set on.
Ah. Oh, you're going to catch the piston on this one.
No.
Oh, no, it
It's your
is on this side. Sorry. Sorry, I'm the
You're all right.
piston catcher. I like the lifters trying to fall out. Let me wipe it before we look at it, make it a lot easier. All the same,
That one.
but it is a little more.
That one's down in the babbitt.
Yeah, but the
Show that-
carbon issue
That one
too is
closer.
pretty heavy.
Yeah, closer. There you go. Now you can see the gold.
Hot on it with something went around. Probably a piece of babbitt. It's going to roll up, especially if it gets hot. Let's wipe it and see what it looks like. Same thing. Like I say, it was on the verge. It needed what we're doing to it at this point. Bolts. Doing it because this thing here leaked like a sieve. Tired of listening to him hissing all day long.
We've got the nitro cat. Nitro cat.
Now if that just pulls off from there, that would be kind of neat, now wouldn't it? Yeah. Bolts.
Oh, need more length.
Um,
I'll get some.
How you feeling about today's project, Gramp?
I'd say it's going all right.
It's going all right. Do you think it's going to end up all right?
Can you get that a little closer to my face? Get out of here. You're going to show my aging lines.
You've aged. You have aged.
Aging lines. Don't tell Dad we did this. Shh. Don't tell him. Oh, yeah. That's okay. It's all can be... It's all... what's that big rag? We can look at this again when Forrest comes out. He's back. Oh, quick, he's back. Hide it. Turn that back.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing's going on, Dad.
Oh, we're
A
just
big
talking
red
about
box.
cylinders.
Yeah, we didn't have.
Oh.
There was not 10 millimeter 175 pitch in the.
That's your metric?
But there's a paintbrush.
Yeah, there's random stuff in here.
A few moments later.
What's that thingy?
Which part?
The
This?
weird flower thing.
This, it's pulling. So I'm putting these bolts into there, and then this center bolt pushes on the end of the crankshaft, pulling the press fit of this pulley to the crankshaft, the snout.
Oh, Forrest, let me hold it. Bring it down around.
Yep.
Good. Boop.
Wow, that thing, like... So
Dry. You got it.
Holy crap.
It's on there a
Look at
long
that,
way.
spider webs.
Very dry. It's odd. As in, ain't that
Yeah, just
odd?
keep running them with the impact. But so the trick is because they got goo on them, you run them. Sorry,
It's okay.
got you in the face. You run them and it will loosen that stuff up, and you can kind of pull on it.
Yeah.
Camera.
That's been apart before.
Yeah.
I didn't know. putting that there.
Oh. Yeah, let's put them right back in the cover.
Yep.
Smell this, Brooke. You want to talk about something burnt smelling here?
Oh God.
Bad.
Oh.
It's bad.
That is
Yep.
bad. Toasted cheese.
But 140 something thousand miles on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb
You're
and
gonna pull out with your hand and spin it at the same time. So you're gonna like try another one.
I'm gonna go out
That's
on a limb and say they did take care of this.
Where?
So you're gonna hold the front of the cover, and I would thunk it right there.
Yeah, I'll hang on to it. Oh, I know, it's the water pump bolts that held the rest of it
Just
on.
right here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, it's pivoting like it's still.
It's on a dowel.
Yep, it's on a dowel. Okay, so now you're gonna grab both sides, Brookie, and wiggle it.
Just
off.
go.
Yep.
Here, let me give you a little assistance. There's a dowel right there, that's why. Yeah, there you go.
So it's alignment dowel. So now let's put these bolts back in there.
Yeah, here's the other
I
one
think this
first.
was like this. This was like this.
Yep.
This was like that, and then this one was like that. There, excellent.
Boom. Oh.
Yeah, that's good for
Yep.
That's good for
I can just take it right off.
Yep, you're just gonna zip it right out. It's probably gonna come a little hard. Nope. There you go.
Oh, shoot. My bad.
Oh.
My bad.
Thick one. Oh, look, there's a... Oh, it's got an oil passage through it, which
Where
goes...
does that go?
Yeah, that's a good question. It comes out through the chamfer and puts oil out into here.
Really? Oh, it
Because
does
this
through
being the
there.
bottom, sure. Ah, that's interesting. I didn't...
So now you should be able to wiggle this lower one off, and then that one will slide too.
You want to get on that side? And just go up against the flange here, like
Wait,
this.
like this?
Yeah,
Yep.
just gently. Okay, hold it. Oh, wait, we have a keyway we got to remove here. Hang on, we got to turn
Oh,
this
it's
thing.
on that key.
Oh, it's on the key?
Yep,
Sure
it's
it
on
would
that
be.
key. Yep.
Sure it would be.
So
What's the
it's
matter
slide
with
out.
me?
Well, sometimes there's two sets. There's two.
Oh, hold it, Brooke.
Hold
We
it.
got ahead of ourselves here. Okay, go ahead again. There you go.
There's the timing set.
Got it? Yeah, I forgot that's on that key. Irrelevant.
I'll have to get a new timing set for sure. That's seen
Yep.
some days. Yep.
Doesn't matter which order.
Nope. Yep. Just leave them. Yep. Oh, you smell it? I wish we had smell-o-vision in here.
Smell-o-vision.
Because it smells like burnt oil.
No, it smells like popcorn that's gone bad. Like really,
Yeah, it
really
smells
bad
like really-
popcorn. Like
really
molded,
overcooked. Molded?
No.
moldy, burnt
Molded.
popcorn.
It smells like burnt oil.
It does
Want to
smell
give me
like
the
burnt
brown marker out of there, Brookie?
No, I don't think I can do that, Grant.
I'm going to write down the position over
brown
there. and
marker?
set 'em brown
What
marker.
do you mean a brown marker?
Yeah, it's got a brown cap on it because it's brown. No, one next to it, next cup over. Boom.
Why do you want a brown marker?
Because it's the only one that's not dried up.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So get rid of the other ones.
I just hate to get rid of any marker that's got life in it.
But it's not. Okay, whatever. Pick your battles, I guess.
Well, I had an idea for the red, white, and boosted little turbos.
Yeah,
If you have one that is on a stand that will sit on your toolbox.
yeah.
That would be
On your
nice.
toolbox or your desk. But you know how they have like the, I don't know if you know, but a lot of people make little trinkets that have a 10mm socket or wrench integrated into them because
Yeah.
that's the one that everybody loses. But I was thinking about the Sharpie because I always, you're always looking for a good Sharpie in the shop.
Yeah.
It has a little pocket
Be a
that
Sharpie
a Sharpie
holder.
will sit in, and it is a Sharpie only holder.
Yep.
I was thinking it'd be kind of cool.
That'd be Grant, we're getting rid of these.
So we already took these.
One of these
We're gonna get rid of
off, that's all.
those.
We already took that one off, and this one's got the super weird wear,
It does.
which I got thinking about it. If
It looked like it carried it across and it piled up and ended up right there for some reason.
I'm interested to see what these other ones look like because I was wondering because that makes me think, and I know this isn't a high performance engine, it's just a high mile engine, but that makes me wonder if the cap was walking,
Could be.
which I had mentioned that before. Jay Meager, watching his show, you look for a darkness around the bolt hole, kind of, and it will, and that's an indication that the cap is walking around under load.
The other thing is too, Brooke, the alignment of these, because you can turn this around, but it probably wouldn't fit. But the one thing you will know is, you see the notch right there? That's so that the bearing locks into place. Well, those match up together. Always put the notches like this.
Well, each one of these I already noticed has arrows to the front of the block.
It does.
Yeah, each one has an arrow to the front of the engine. Yeah.
Boy, that's a weird arrow.
It's a triangle.
It's triangle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the point of the triangle is pointed that way.
All right, you're gonna thunk this guy.
Give me that. I'm just gonna go like.
Yep, just lightly. Yep. It's just enough. Yep. Now you wiggle it out and pull it straight up. Oh, not
Aggressively.
Yeah, not too aggressively. Let's see what that one looks like.
Oh, it's got the same issue. See?
It has the same thing. What is going on with that? It's delaminated.
Yep. Gotta say, this engine was ready to.
I'm glad
I
they
even
didn't
hit
try to run it. Although we would have found a heck of a lot of the problems.
Well, they were going to. The people put the heads on.
Oh
It
yeah,
won't
they
come
were.
off.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, this is the thrust bearing one.
Yeah, so this one has, you can't beat it back and forth because there's actually bearings on either side. So you got
See the
two
difference
thrust-
in them?
It's an integrated thrust bearing, so that is a shell that goes over there, and you can see the thrust is worn out.
And
too.
the thing is too that
You're drifting, like real good.
this is being a standard. Every time
Yep.
you step on the clutch,
Oh.
really bad, huh?
Oh my goodness!
When
I
you
wish
step
you
on the
could smell
clutch,
that.
you're forcing the crank forward.
Yeah.
So that's what has the clutch, the throw-out bearing. To disengage the clutch shoves the crank forward every single time. So the rear thrust bearing would likely have the most wear, but once it gets loose, it may wear both sides.
So this one's gotta be.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Don't go too. Now you can do.
No, I'm in all seriousness. How
Okay. A
like
little bit more. So something to keep in mind, this one is engaged the whole width here. These were only like 3/4 of an inch. This has got like 2 inches.
Yeah.
of-
Try on this side too, Brooke.
Yep.
Oh, I think I just saw it move. There you go. Wait a minute. Oh, it's the whole.
The rear main seal. Is,
The
it's a
remain
one
seal
piece.
is what's holding it. Yeah. Yep. It's been glued.
Ta-da! And that's got a big bearing, and wow,
Yeah,
it
that
is
is-
wore
Yeah.
out. And then here's the rear main seal, which will pop out when we pull the crank.
Which that will be next. I gotta make some more room. I'm gonna move the manifold over here.
One piece rear main seal, so that the lip is faced in, and what that's doing is keeping all the oil that's sloshing around in the base from coming out the crank end, which in a standard is extra bad because the oil gets on the clutch and then the clutch slips.
fire. It's bouncing
You're
around.
like dancing around.
I can't help it. It's
I
my
know.
anxiety
I
thing.
know. Then they're gonna be motion sick. Motion sick.
Dude,
What?
motion sick. That's only if you're in motion.
And put that crankshaft right there for us.
All right. Here we go. Crank out. Ready?
Yep. Is it?
Nice.
Yeah.
There it is. Now let's look at these bearings. Babbitt. No, maybe that's just oil. Man, that's weird. Weird.
It looks like Barbie Babbitt. You remember Barbie Babbitt? Do yous?
Look at that interesting casting.
Watch your fingers.
Come right now.
I think he just wants to use hammer.
1, 2. Three. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that side. Look at the thrust on that one.
Yep. And it was in notch.
3.
Yeah, that's where the load is.
So yours.
Okay.
Empty
Let's
engine
flip
house?
this. Oops, I put the crank. That's the camshaft bolt. Let's flip it over and. Oh, slow down.
Why?
It must be a keeper underneath there. Loosen that. You don't bend the thing.
Yeah, and also you want to, you gotta take this thrust plate off from the cam in the front. I'm gonna go get a long enough bolt.
I want to finish taking that one out, bro. Oh, never mind.
Bruh.
And so now you can pull each lifter. We'll put a set of lifters in it. Like, let's just pull one. These, yeah.
Those are little facial rollers.
Yep. So that's the roller part of the lifter. So the camshaft is right here, which you can see.
Well, I mean,
And then the roller rides on the lobe up and down, and those dog bones that were on there keep the roller lifter from turning, because if it would turn, then the roller wouldn't be
roller's
rolling
weird.
axially.
Then it would be a mechanical lifter, a flat tappet lifter.
They'd turn it into it, and it would trash some
Yeah.
stuff real quick.
Yeah.
Like,
are we taking this out?
Eventually, yeah, we're going to pull all the lifters out first. So you say, let me put them in the right order over
put
here.
them in the right order and do it.
It definitely needed some
Let's
flushing.
see if Dad can do a better job with this camshaft compared to the.
Don't matter anyway. Whatever you hit's going to be a bearing. So, oh yeah, it came out of here. Yeah, that block. Oh no, this thing could have had a cooling issue. Yeah, we can wipe it off in this clean rag.
Brand new, isn't it?
Boy, got some big lobes on it. I mean, as far as the
roller.
no, I mean because of the cam bearings themselves.
Yeah, because the roller lobes are bigger. Yeah,
to get it in and out.
The profile of the roller is
Right.
larger lobe
Sure.
compared to a flat tappet. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just the way that it has to be.
It doesn't look bad. I'd put a new set of rollers on it, or lifters in it.
Can I peel this off?
It is a little bit, but still.
And
You got it?
Yeah.
There's a place.
Oh yeah, it needs can. Well, I don't know. We'll have to.
Yeah, we can have somebody install those for us.
Yeah.
All right, now I tried taking this out the other day, but I didn't have much luck.
What we can do is we'll spray some penetrating oil.
Yep,
on each
and
one,
use some.
and just let it set for a little bit.
Yep. Want to get some crocus cloth and just or some
So why are you doing
regular
that?
automotive 220. or 400 and basically wet sand them.
Why are we spraying them?
To loosen up the stuff that's in the cylinders.
Smells better than the
Yeah, it does.
other doodad.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's
so I'm
kinda-
thinking we can let this set for a bit to let that break that up, and because I'd like to just wipe it out,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, use this. You're not going to wipe out the what I wanted to see that would actually come out, but I don't. You know, even with this, I don't feel any ridges.
I don't feel anything.
So I don't think there's. Oh, hey, you know what we could do is just run a quick bore
I was gonna wait till it's clean.
and then clean.
We'll
Okay,
just clean it and then
sure.
measure it. 'Cause, I mean, and we're gonna measure it twice then. We might as well
No,
measure it.
no. I mean, while we're standing here twiddling
Well,
our
no,
thumbs,
we're
but
not, because we're gonna move on to something else.
Measure
We're
the
gonna let
crank?
this soak, and then we'll go.
Okay,
back. Yeah,
sure.
let's measure a crank.
yeah,
Let's. Want to take a break?
yeah.
So, where are we? Can we see? Can someone see us?
Yes.
Hey, we're gonna get back and we're gonna measure some crank and some pistons. And
There's some orange stuff on
We're gonna let
this.
We're gonna let this saturate.
Because what
Let's
did you
get
do?
closer to the
I
camera.
don't know if you're gonna get down low.
No, get outta here.
Way down.
You
here.
guys go ahead.
Down here.
Oh, I
with
just tripped.
everyone. There we go. And then there's people over here. Hello.
Oh my
everyone.
God!
Well,
See
I'm
in the
pretty sure
back
it's
of
the
my
same people.
thinning hair.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have
Like-
anything in thinning hair. I have too much.
You and Charlotte. I'd like to borrow some of Charlotte's hair. Holy
You
cow!
don't want
She could
any
take
of
half
mine?
hers off and she wouldn't even miss it.
Nah, she likes her hair long.
Don't point that thing at me.
You can do the panning shot where you loosen this up.
Hold up, me and Grant can just be.
Get out of here. Get you. Nope.
What's nope? Why no?
It's just a.
These belong to your great.
How do you make them go open?
Just
Make them
pull
go
on.
open.
It's a friction thing. These were all handmade by my.
So those are great Grand Forest.
Let's get your
Actually,
nose.
his father.
His dad made this.
Between him and Grandpa Forrest,
Yeah.
James was his name. You can see they're all hand, but how they machined them out so nice. You know, this part here was all.
Yeah.
Look at it. That's all hand done. His initials were on here, but I've used these a lot.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's get your nose.
No. You can actually.
No, let's get your nose.
Look.
Yeah, I'm looking. Let's get your nose. That's the size of your nose.
Get out of here.
Wait, no, that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool. Wait, let me do it again. Ready? You have to have the sound.
That's pretty legit.
All right. Let's see what this thing is going to do.
Oops.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. So
Let me get back over to my measurements.
we got all set up and we tried to make this so that it'd be easy for everybody to see. And we won't probably show you every second of measuring this crank out, but we'll at least hit the high points because Brooke's never done this, so she's never. I don't think you've used calipers, but you haven't used a micrometer. And we haven't ever done an engine like this and measured out the parts so that
Not with Brooke.
not with Brooke.
And that's the whole purpose
Yeah,
of this.
not with Brooke. So one of the fun things is we didn't have a manual for this engine or the truck in general. And we actually had a pretty hard time searching the interwebs to find this. I'm sure somebody watching this is like, you just go here and here and you can find it. Nonetheless, anyways, we dug through the new old stock. Gramp has a bunch of these, and then I had some of these that a good friend of mine, an older gentleman, had given me a bunch of these motor manuals, and I happened to have this 1988 edition, which this 3-liter Ford Vulcan V6 was made from '86 to 2007, and I guess they didn't really change much about the engine, especially the short block, until the early 2000s. Mostly, my understanding is that cylinder heads, methanol, flex fuel, all that good stuff. So the numbers that are in this book, even though this is an '88 and this truck's '93, we know that this crankshaft, for instance, is an '86 casting. So this is still the first casting they made for the engine, because as we pointed out in the other video, the E is the decade, the number is the year in the decade, and then the rest of the numbers mean some other stuff for a Ford. So this is an '86. The block, not that it matters. The heads I know were '86. The rods were '86 casting. So these numbers should work. So we're going to start off with, we'll measure the mains.
Yep.
We'll measure the mains. So we have 4 mains, which are the bigger ones, which
so
are the block.
This.
Yep, the mains. Yep. And
Here,
Brooke,
I gotta.
yeah, that's right. Brooke has, she's already laid out. I just wrote down the different dimensions that we would need, and Brooke has created her own spec sheet. I know we could probably find an engine rebuilders. A lot of performance engine sites have these print-offs you can use, but Brookie made her own. It's going to be great.
It's personalized.
Yep, it's personalized. So what we're looking for on the mains is we're looking for the main bearing journal diameter. We're looking for 2519 to 25198. So that's only 0.8 of a thousandths in difference that you can have. So the bigger end, the high side of that is the 2.5198. The low side is 2.5190.
And 8/10,000ths is not a.
8/10,000. We were having the conversation about your diameter of your hair. Your hair is 4 to 7 thousandths thickness. This is 0.8 of a thousandth. So basically, it's 1/4 of your thinnest hair, 1/7 of your thickest hair.
Okay.
It's the air between my hands. You know, it's thick. But. So we're just gonna measure. We have a 2 to 3 mic because it's a 2.5 dimension, 2.5 inch dimension. I'm gonna measure in the center. So I have 2.519, and that time I get 192. So 2.5192, which is 0.2 higher than the low end.
Yeah.
I put it there, right?
Yep. So I measured that across this way. I'm just going to go 90 degrees from that and measure it again.
Yeah. Just get a couple.
Yeah. And this has... So one thing to keep in mind when we're doing these measurements is this surface is hardened. I can't tell you how hard it is, but it's a hardened surface here, so that this doesn't wear, the bearing wears. The bearing is the sacrificial component. I'm saying that namely because when we're using this mic to measure it, this mic has carbide tips on it.
Okay.
These are carbide, which is even harder than that for sure, and harder than what's called tool steel in general. So what happens is these edges are extremely sharp. When you're rolling it onto the journal, you need to be very careful that you don't drag that edge. You need to start bigger and get on there and make sure just the flats touch. If you drag that edge, you're guaranteed gonna scratch the crank. So I always start big and go on nice and easy, and bring it down. And then what I'm doing is I'm just checking for resistance, and I'm running back and forth, because as you do that, you're going to go over the high spot of the circle.
And you got a little friction thing up here that you can use that will predetermine the tightness, let's say.
2.5191. Okay, so that one it's a couple of tenths away from the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll go down through, we'll measure the rest of these.
Yeah, see how they compare.
Yep. So that's 192.
See what that says.
19.
Is this a different
It's
one?
still 189. Still
29.
Okay.
19. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
19. Okay, so it's 2.5190. So we got 2.5195. That doesn't make sense. Do you have the gauge for this?
I was just going
Or
to
the
say,
standard? Yeah.
yeah, let's see if I got a standard for that.
So there's two. One of the measurements I just took over here and I took over there. It makes me think that I'm not sure if this thing is calibrated. So there's
Close it up, Forrest, all the way.
So there's something called a standard. You can't use a 2 to 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
So there's something called a standard, and the standard will be a calibrated bar to a length. In this case, it'll be 2 inches. I think it'll be 2 inches. And then what you do is you run it down, and you can adjust. You take the end of the cap of this off, and you can adjust it so it's 0, 0, 0 all the way around. So then you know that what you're measuring is correct. On a 2-inch standard, but we can at least
Right.
check this.
Oops, I'm going to close that before I run into it and poke a hole in my head. Yeah, and your stuff is right over there now, so.
So you always wipe the tips off. You'll see me do that over and over and over again. I'm always wiping the tips.
Well, you saw how thin that 15 thousandths was, a 1.5 10 thousandths. How much that would change that with just something that thin on there. Could be just a piece of debris off me, a piece of carbon that fell down out of the piston, whatever it might be, a piece of hair. My hair, though, it's probably be 8 10 thousandths. She's pretty close.
Nope. It's
So
0,
it's a
0, but you match up over here. It doesn't match. It goes.
What's the line right here? Just a little bit beyond? Or
Yeah,
no,
but
it's
you got to read the
before.
vernier.
Yes, I know. It's before, so.
It is off by 2/10.
2/10 of a thousandth, so
Yeah.
2 10 thousandths.
Yeah, which could mean that our numbers are no good. What we read
The
here,
9, yeah, the 2,
Yeah.
this 2 would be wrong. I'm not sure what side that would
right?
be
I'm
under.
gonna go grab my mics.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, it's a 2/10 of a thousandths could mean that they're wrong or right. Yeah, this one's good. Check that. Let's check this one with a 2.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, those brown and sharps that I have, they're not new.
No, but the brown and sharp ones should be.
I mean, they're, in their time, that was.
Well, no, they're still brown and sharp. I would take a brown and sharp over a Fowler any day, as long as it hasn't been dropped.
Right. And
or
those have been
scratched, or
they've been cared for.
or over tightened. But certainly hasn't seen the use that it could have in the time that it's been around.
No.
Because you don't use it regularly, so.
No.
So there's 0, 0, and with this standard, it shows it's off a 10th.
Okay, let me try something
What
here.
is it?
Yeah, turn that as you.
Yeah, no, I've already done that.
Oh, you did.
Oh
okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
I'm a wiper and a turner, and it's over and over and over and over and over again. So we can tune this one in.
Or use yours. Or is yours? How close is yours?
Well, we might as well tune it because
Okay.
just hold that for a second.
Yep. Not only are we going to measure the journals, we're going to
Fix the measuring
devices. Which
Okay, so how this works is there's this little wrench, and then there's that little dot or that little pocket right there. And what you can do is we're going. Oh, let me make sure I'm going the right way. Yeah, we're going to rotate
the
this.
barrel is what you're doing.
No, sorry, we got to go the other way. We're going to rotate the barrel.
There's no locking device in there.
Nope,
is
it's
there?
just friction. So I move that, so that line and that line line
I
up
see what you're getting at.
just now.
I don't think I've ever done that before.
That's how you adjust it.
Yeah. So how's it look now?
So now, so then what we can do is we'll take it off, and then we'll just obsessively wipe all the
Yeah,
things.
Sure.
And then this is how you hold a mic too, by the way. 3 fingers. You can use a thumb or you use your index and thumb. We can roll this.
I have a hard time holding it, period.
Yeah, this is like the
well,
most
it's my
comfortable-
hands.
Yeah, that is the most comfortable way because then you can use your 2 fingers and you can really feel. When you're measuring the crank, it's hard to do that unless you've done it a lot. I've seen like Bert, the older gentleman I was mentioning earlier. Oh, you met Bert. Coffee, his wife Coffee, and we got all that stuff from him. Well, actually, that's where this book came from. We went up to the house in Howland there, and he gave us all of his stuff he wasn't using anymore. Yep, dead on. If you use the friction thing, it's dead on.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, drop that out of there. That's yours.
Yep.
I'll put that back in yours.
All right, so we'll continue to use this. Now we're gonna go back through and we're gonna double check them all.
Sure.
Just for posterity.
Yeah.
190. 190 again. 189.
Let's just compare it from one side to the other.
190. Okay, 19, and we're it looks 0 again. Yeah, 190. And then the last one.
Just 190 for both of them.
Yep. I think it was. Sorry. Oops, sorry.
You're alright.
Crank over a little bit.
And the other one.
I can move out of the way.
2. I can't remember what the 944 was.
Eight, 9.
Yeah. So a light polish won't hurt it.
190. I'd say, it's at the bottom. It's
Right.
at the bottom of it. We could, and it actually doesn't look bad at all as far as the polish goes.
Yeah.
So for the sake of the dollars, of doing anything with it, because it does look good or looks decent enough, I think we can run it. Not to mention, this is going to be our. Well, you can take that 2 ways. This is going to be our spare engine that we're going to fool around with, and we're going to do some different stuff with. So really, you want it to be really tight. But that amount of difference, and then the amount of time this engine will see, because this isn't going to be the engine that you run on the road. This will be the engine that we put in it to beat on. We'll run a thicker oil. We'll think about it. How about that? All right.
Your main bearing clearances are, really, it's 5/10,000ths to 2.3.
Yeah.
So it is really close.
It's supposed to be 1,000. So the rule of
thousandths
thumb is
per
1,000ths per
inch.
inch. So if we have,
And those are it should be 2.5 thousandths. The high side of clearance. That's interesting.
so really,
These,
So this is a system, right? So it's not just we measured those cranks, and when you measure a crank, whatever it measures is what it is, as long as it's round, and it seems to be round enough. Because what's the roundness? Maximum out of round all is 3/10. We're within 3/10 on all of them, and we're also right on the lower end of the diameter size. Now,
as if it was brand new.
Yeah.
To perfect dimensions,
Right.
let's say.
But it's a system. So the bearing and make up the difference of this being a little small.
Okay.
So the bearing could have a little bit more material on it and close that gap up. So the system, this journal and the bearing size makes up the to get to our where was it?
Clearance.
The clearance. Our bearing clearance is 5/10,000ths to 2.3 thousandths. So it really depends on the set of bearings we get. So what we'd end up doing is we'd get the block all clean, we'd have it checked for cracks and everything and make sure it's good. we'd end up putting the bearings in the mains and torquing them down, and then we would measure the inside diameter of those bearings
With the bore gauge.
With the bore gauge to know what our our oil clearance is.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the crank's fine so far. And then we'll go to the
Sure.
rods.
Yep.
And then if we get a set of standard bearings and we measure them out and it says that the oil clearance would be too much, but the rule of thumb is 1/1000th per inch. So I mean,
This is only 5/10.
that's really not a lot of clearance. That's like not a lot of clearance. 5/10
No.
oil clearance is not a lot
In
of
the
clearance.
944, I've gone from the factory, and I still don't know why, the rods were 3/1000th clearance.
Yeah.
And that's when I had to buy those special bearings to get that down to 2/1000th clearance, because those 944s from history had rod bearing problems.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, and then to see this Ford crank way closer tolerances, but
Yeah, a lot tighter. Yeah.
I know. That surprised me right there. That surprised
Okay.
me.
So let's move on to
Yep.
the rods. So now we have
The rods are going to be
wait a second. Bearing clearance. This main bear. Okay, never mind. That was main bearing.
Main and
Connecting
rods,
rods
yeah.
is this a little bit wider. But
9 to 23. It's
But our
top side is more.
rod journal size is
Let me get my
1253. You want to write this down real quick? 1253
to 1261.
to 1261. So that's the upper end. This is the lower end, and that's also only 8/10. Only 8/10 of a window there.
Yeah, and the clearance for those connecting rods is 9/10 and 2.3 tenths. So, and those are actually about two inches. So the high end, this thing runs close tolerances. It's interesting. I'll hang on to it. No, probably not.
So these are the numbers that you have to stay between or on.
Yep. Okay,
Stay there? Okay.
I'm going to measure them in two places again.
Yep.
Just the two, and then if we really want to get picky, we can measure it.
Where are you putting those?
6, 3, 2, 1.
We'll know what they are.
Okay, so now we've got two, one. I have 2119.
Like
Yeah.
2 and then a 1.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That's quite under.
2, 1,
Oh,
1,
you've got
9.
those. You've got those written down right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got it right there.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I forget. We're on. We are. Yeah, we're two. Sorry. 2 1. 2 1 2 6.
That's the high side.
21267 is what I'm reading here.
That's 6/10,000ths over the high side.
Nope. Sorry. 21257. There we go. Man alive.
257.
Struggle bus.
That's good.
I was struggling there.
I know. Well, it's too many. You get questions and stuff, and
Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah.
I thought I was in the zone, and then I wasn't in the zone. It's all right. I really messed up the Lawson salesman yesterday. I was like, "You're twice as much as the other guy," and he very calmly did the math for me. told me per bolt what the cost was. I was like, wow, I'm off this morning, aren't I? It was like the same price almost. I was like, what are you doing?
You know, most people.
What are you doing?
I think most people now have digital micrometers. They just turn in and it shows them just what it is, Brooke.
We still,
I have one on my
Reads right
iPad.
up. What?
I have one on my iPad.
You do? Yeah.
we still use. We don't have any digital stuff.
You don't?
Well,
I don't
other than
think-
calipers. We don't have any digital mics.
All the calipers I have, that's
We don't
it.
have any digital mics.
If you don't read a mic all the time, you have to kind of back up and think about what you're looking at.
Yeah, this
I
one's
do.
6. Yeah, 2, 5, 6. Yeah, I
What is
don't.
it?
I don't do mics every day or as much as I used
256.
to. Yeah. Yeah. 2,
Oh, man,
5, 6.
that's
Yeah,
good.
It's good.
That's good.
Yeah, they're looking good. I think that we, as long as nothing else is.
Wait, so it's a
Yep.
in front of this one. There's a 2.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I did,
That right there, I can polish that up.
but yeah, you know something? Point made. If you've got a scratch,
Oh, let's measure on the scratch. Let's measure on that right there.
if you've got a scratch, let me see your pencil a minute, Brooke. If you've got a surface like this and you've got how can I do this? And there's a scratch down into it like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And normally when you do have a scratch, there's going to be some of the scratch that caused by the scratch, you're going to have some material that's above the scratch.
Mm-hmm.
When you polish a crankshaft or a journal, this inward part, from what I've seen over the years, it can't be huge. When you polish it and take these high points on either side of the scratch off, most of the time the scratch is not going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be huge. It can't be a huge scratch.
So that those little scratches you see there measured a tenth of 1,000.
Really? Yeah, those will polish right
So
off.
I have polishing cloth that I forget his name. Rob at CarQuest Machine Shop gave me like a decade ago. He said I remember it was my Ford crank or my Ford crank, my 302 crank in my pickup that I was building. I had a ding in it, and he just handed me that, and he said as long as it's below surface, it ain't gonna matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I was just telling Brooke. Yeah. Yep.
And he just told me don't worry.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, the scratch or defect, whatever you want to call it, has, within reason. I mean, it can't be a
It's
gouge.
not on the outside. It's right in the center,
Yeah.
which is helpful-ish. So that one reads 4. 21254.
Brooke, a couple times.
Yeah.
Mistakes
6.
were made.
Yeah, I want you to learn how to use the mic. It's just this on this right here because of the carbide tips and stuff. This is probably not a great first one. The piston skirts, on the other hand, you still got to be a little careful of the tips, but it's a little bit easier to manage getting down in there. You can measure the skirts and then
We do the bore too.
yeah, the bore
Once the
one
bores are
is
cleaned
the
up.
fun one with the bore gauge.
Yeah.
Setting it up is not fun, but measuring is fun.
No, I had a system on that too. It took me a while to get a system set up to make it easy. I mean, you can go about it the hard way. And I can't remember exactly how I went about it, but I had a system that I had for doing that
I usually
to make
stick
things easy.
I'd stick one in a vise, or I use something to hold the mic while I.
That's where I had an awful time trying to. I would set it, lock it, and then try to get it so,
Yeah, I would.
I would set some weight on it, or I'd prop it up and I'd sit
I
there.
put this in a little vise on the table,
Yeah,
and then I
yeah,
hold it. It's just kind of fooling around. You'll see it.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But once you get it set up to do what we're talking about,
Then
it's really
it's
easy
way
to do.
easier to measure than what we're doing right now.
Yeah,
it's actually
really
it's actually
easy.
fun.
Because you're only going to measure top to bottom when you're doing.
It's another 4.
Yeah, how can you work it from the front to back?
This one's a 7. This one is a 1.
Which way?
This way.
Yeah.
Let's double check that. Because that would be out of spec, I think, for the out of roundness.
So 1251. That's 2 10,000ths under.
Hold on.
Oh,
I get an 8 that time. Oh, let me just.
they have a note here, number 3. Total journal run out is 2,000ths of an inch.
I get an 8 twice. That was just me. Yeah, this is not the most entertaining aspect of the project, I'll tell you.
No.
But it's fun riding.
Hey, what was the size of the 4-cylinder that the guy was running
8.
in that little Ranchero up to Loring?
2.3. Yep.
2.3.
Yeah, that one. That's the one. That's the 2.3 Lima or the 2300.
Yeah, see,
Lima.
they run.
Is there a chair that I could sit on while I do
You
this?
got a stool. Hang on, I'll get you a stool. Bro.
Okay.
They run the same clearances as this in that engine, by the way. Yeah. Yep. Same oil clearance.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Jake brake on a truck.
Oh.
Like the water truck for the pool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that guy had a wicked Jake on that thing.
Oh boy, he's really practicing.
He's feeding it, dude.
He's using it.
He's feeding it.
Oh, yeah. You know what he's probably doing? He's probably got the window
That's
down,
an 8.
listening to it,
Probably. I would.
getting all excited.
I would. Saturday night, Jake breaking through
I
the
happen
town
to, I happen to be on Facebook looking at different stuff, and every now and then I see those toter trucks.
Mm-hmm.
They're, like Freightliner, normally a Freightliner. For some reason, Freightliner seems to have a lot of them. They're 4-door, crew cab, diesel, but they got hydraulic brakes.
Yeah.
Usually up into 30,000 GVW, and they're made for hauling, car trailers and stuff like that, race trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, always would have liked to have had or have one of those.
That's a 8. All right, so that's all the rods. So they're all within spec. So they're all
Yep.
good. I think the extremely light polish on this, and
Yep.
we're gonna call that
Yep.
Primavera.
So
So the thing is, if the general rule is 1,000ths per inch of journal, because we also have better oil than even in 96 for that matter, or sorry, 86.
Yeah.
So
Well, stop and think
2.5 thousandths oil clearance.
Yep.
It comes down to the bearings when we get them. So we have to set this bore gauge. Now what we did, so this is the bore gauge arrangement, if you will. So this gauge goes from, you got 1.4 all the way to above 4-inch or to 4-inch. To 6-inch.
6-inch.
It goes 6-inch because there's this 2-inch extension that you can add to the 4 to make 6.
Yeah.
Not sure what that goes to. So what we have to do.
There's another piece of it right there.
Oh yeah. What you got in there, little goodies, Grant?
I don't know.
So with this gauge, this is unlike this. This is a direct measurement device, and this can be too via this gauge here. But we have to set it, given a other measurement device, being this mic. So we're going to use this mic to set this bore gauge. So what we'll do is we set it to the dimension that we want, which in this case is we want to. So what we're going to actually, I should probably start with. So what we're going to measure is the big end of the connecting rods to check to make sure that they're round so that we know if they need to be resized or not. So what we didn't do on camera, or maybe we'll do it again, but what I did was took the bearings out and just wiped the inside of this and then put it in the vise with some rubber because we don't have a connecting rod vise. And then torqued the cap back down. So it's torqued just like it would have a bearing in it. And then we're going to check about how round it is. Then we'll know if they need to be reconditioned or not. And the way that they recondition them is they'll actually take material from where the two meet, then putting it together, making it not round anymore, like an egg shape, and then they'll line hone it back round again. So that basically they remove material to make it not round, to give them material to remove.
Correct.
And then it comes down to a question whether you buy new rods, you compare the cost of reconditioning this compared to buying a new rod, and maybe upgrade to a better grader rod, like I have in there.
In this case, you're not going to get that.
An idea how, as far as the rods in the 944. Now this is 4 years ago. Things have gone up since then. To put Melnar forged rods in that, it was $900 to buy the rods. That was no wrist pins or anything. The pistons were about $1,000 for 4 pistons.
Okay.
They came with the rings.
Okay, so
one piston or 4 pistons was the same amount as that whole truck.
Yeah, but difference there.
So I set this to 2 1/4, so the 2.25, and I'm going to try doing this without putting it in a vise.
I'll zero it.
I got.
You see what he's going to do? He's going to zero this, Brooke. And for checking out or round, all you're going to do is watch plus or minus, plus or minus. You put it in, and if you're reading a minus 1/1000th, if you rotate it around and it maintains 1/1000th, that means the thing is round.
Yeah. So this indicator has 250 thousandths of travel, or a 1/4 inch of travel. And in that travel, it will turn how many times? It doesn't. Okay, that's right. That makes sense. So this indicator has 250 thousandths of travel in the So this, I'm just double checking something here. So this plunger has a total travel of a little bit over, it's about 60 thousandths, but it won't get there because of the wheels.
Yeah.
There's little wheels.
Yep, there's little
It's
wheels.
like a little car.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
That's so when you're going down inside of a cylinder,
It keeps you.
it will hold itself basically square. And because when you put it in a cylindrical thing like that or inside of a piston bore, you're going to rock it back and forth like this, okay? Because you want to measure the exact across the diameter, let's say. In other words, like Forrest is doing right now on that rod end. It's kind of funny when you're actually using it and you're not having to explain it.
It's about a 0.5 thousandths under.
Where do I write that down?
No, that's not necessary on this, Brooke. Oh, is it? Oh, are you? Oh, do you have it?
Yeah, that's why we're doing it.
Oh, I didn't know you.
We wouldn't be writing it down.
I thought you were just. I thought you were just checking it because.
No.
So where do I write that down?
Yeah.
And what am I writing?
So the rod's the big end right here.
So what am I writing?
You're gonna write 252505. Now I'm gonna do it at a 45. It's such a small diameter. It's kind of tricky.
It is. It just.
You go 2525 02. The other thing that we can do while we have this piston is we're going to measure the skirt. Measure the skirt diameter, which this is supposed to be 3.504, which is this is where our 3 to 4 mic is going to come in.
3.504 is where it's supposed to be.
Yep, that's what it's supposed to be. So we've got 3.503.
The bore diameter standard is 3.504.
504.
Yeah. Where'd you have that?
3.5031.
So
I'm just smart.
What's the pistons though? You just have piston to bore clearance, right?
I think so.
So piston clearance is
That's
1.2.
Yep, and 2.3.
2.3. So then we just have to do some math.
Wait, what is it?
And if we have, so we don't know what the
2.1 and 2.3.
Well, let's just do our measurements. Doesn't matter. We just measured it because
just
we'll
get
do
the
the math
measurements.
on the bore.
Right.
We'll do the math after we have the bore number. Okay.
Matter of fact, we could take the bore gauge and do one of them, just check them before they're cleaned up.
We don't want to reset that bore gauge right now.
Oh no! Oh no!
So that was as far down as I could go, and then we'll do up a little bit, and 518. Yep. All right, so that was number 1. Now we can do number 2.
504.
One bearing is over here.
501.
5018.
Oh, 5018. What was the 521?
5021.
Okay, now
I said
making sense.
50.
Because the bore factory is 504.
Yeah.
So theoretically, you have, if the bore checks out, you have about 3 thousandths clearance. If the bores, and that is over. That's without even looking at the actual bore, the wear in the bore. So,
They're undersized?
no, the bore factory is 3.504. Your piston on the high side, let's call it 501. So your 3 thousandths clearance. If the bore is factory, which I doubt that it is, so we're going to be over. So it may require a
piston.
Pistons.
And that's,
Right.
Yeah, that's measuring on the scuff too.
Yeah.
Well, now I could measure off from the scuff.
Yep.
Let's do that other one real quick again. And I'll measure it off from the scuff line.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I was measuring it where the wear would be, so we could measure over here. Well, I mean, that is where the wear is, though.
Right. It is what it is, as they say.
I'd say it is.
And if the cylinder's out around at that scuff point, and you have to bring the cylinders into round, it's going to make it even worse.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get down through this.
Let's get down to business.
2.2. 502. 2.5. 02.
So the same thing.
The most time it takes to set everything up. Find all your numbers, set up all your tools. It takes the most time. Okay, so we're 3.501.
For the skirt?
Yeah. 3.5013.
We do have piston diameter here. It's under a note, number 18.
3.5017.
That don't make any sense whatsoever here. We've got discrepancies here, you guys, in what you're measuring. That's number 19. Oh, okay. Code blue. They got some kind of coding here.
Blue?
Is there any color on those rods, pistons anywhere? Like, no, there wouldn't be. No, there is. Let's move this over here. We do have some piston dimensions, but they're two different. It's under note number 19, and you've got coded red, coded blue, coded yellow. The coded red should be
Code red.
550.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
And the yellow should be 5045 to 5051. So the question is, why? That's going to change the piston to cylinder clearance. And it's got to be something to do with the type of material, maybe, that they're made out of, possibly. Code blue.
Call that a 2.2505.
You're supposed to leave this column for notes.
And that's a 2.2502. And that is a 3.514. Duh, that's what that is. Oh, that piston doesn't even look worn right there.
Yeah, when you're measuring there, if the piston is, the cylinder's right.
That's 3.5007.
I wonder if you ordered like a kit that all of them that I was looking at came with the pistons, what those pistons will actually measure out to be. I don't think you'd want to use those anyway, but it looks at the tops of them there.
Well, this is going to be a budget build still. We're just like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
But it would make... No, it wouldn't. Yeah, we just don't want to bore, 10 over and go 10 over on the pistons. You're going to buy pistons anyway, but it's the expense of going to boring the block. And
Speaking of boring, this process
is boring. It is. It's why it's a process that when you're working by yourself, not a big deal. It goes right along. It's just recording everything because it is. You're back and forth, back and forth. If somebody's sitting there writing all this stuff down, keeps your concentration on what you're doing when you're doing the measuring part.
This does not make for good video.
Where is my...
Does it, people? Boring.
There it is.
Torqualizing. Whoa.
You've been out here too long, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Torqualizing. Oh, Grant.
What?
You just kicked something.
Kicking the...
Oh, I didn't know I was... Oh, sorry.
Hey, torqualizing.
I'm going to talk
Oh, no, I just saw that thing like wobbling over there, and I was like,
Wobble.
Get scared. Get scared. Torqualizing. All right, here we go. Ready? 2.2505. 2.2505. 3.50006. 3.500. 6.
I'll be back. Grampy, can you please do the measurements for this?
Not gonna be able to read it.
I mean, I can do it too. Torquilizing. Torquilizing. Click. No, it's kidding. I actually have torque. So I can click. Oh, audible. Audible. Oh, that's it.
Why did I add that like that?
I don't know. Math sometimes.
Wrong. Oh, wrong page. Here's what it is.
Ready?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Me? Who? Me?
2.2502.
Where am I putting this?
2.2502. 2.2502. We are on number 5. Number 1 on big
Right
end.
here?
2.2502.
Boy, Brooke must really press hard.
2.2505. 3.5. 1.
Where am I?
Same place. 3.512. And you're on a piston. Skirt. 3.5.
Oh, what again now?
3.5. 012.
Yeah, that's 2.8 thousandths clearance. Clearance. 2.8 thousand clearance. Which is
That is that one is 3.519 or 3.5019.
0.19. Yeah, that's better. With the bore gauge, it doesn't take very long anyway. Once you get it set up, get it set at a set figure, and it's just walking it through plus or minus the set figure that you have basically.
Okay.
Oh yeah, which one are we on now?
Number 6.
Number 6. Oh yeah,
Number 6 is
skirt.
2.5 or 2.25005. 2.2502. Now
That's the same thing as the last one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Piston skirt. Oh yeah, she's got it set up pretty good here now that I see what she's done.
3.5014.
That's pretty consistent. You're all 501 something, so
Except for that last one.
you're between 2 and 3 thousandths clearance.
This one's 5016. So try it. Yep. So it's fine. Just the key is is to remember to start like this and roll your way in. You'll get a feel for it. It's fine. So in this case, unlike before when we were talking about the carbide tips on the mic.
Can I break anything?
No, that's what I'm about to tell you. So the carbide tips on the mic are dangerous on the crank and on the pistons. This doesn't have, it has tool steel balls on the end, which are not going to mar up the cylinder. You have way less chance of hurting something. Yep, so once you get close to there, yep, so you pass back this way a little bit more. Yep, you want to see it go up and back, up and back as you go down and up. So you go beyond center both ways. Yep, go slow. Yep, now back the other way. Yep, so that's a 0.5 thousandths under in that direction. So that's 3.5045. Yep.
And then this way?
Yep, do the 45 now. Yep, you just bring it down halfway. You got it. There you go. So there. No, yep. So you don't have to go as far back. You only have to go back like a few points. Yep. Up. Yep. Go beyond. You got to see it go back down again. Yep. Now back. Again, back, and you want to see it go back down again. So that's a half thousandths over. Under. I forget we're measuring an ID. So that's actually 3.5035.